Have you ever heard the famous saying that history is shaped by the winners? In the past, the Persian Empire, known for its totalitarian rule, was overcome by the democratic Greeks, resulting in a Greek Golden Age. This era is often seen as the catalyst for the development of key principles in Western civilization, such as democracy, mathematics, philosophy, art, and literature. Undoubtedly, the Greeks have contributed significantly to the advancement of humanity. However, it is important to recognize that this narrative may not fully capture the complete reality. The Persians were in fact civilized themselves, perhaps even more so than the Greeks by modern standards. In Cyrus the Great, we have a leader with a light touch who didn't impose cultural hegemony over conquered lands, promoting religious tolerance and mercy. Instead, we see innovations in commerce and trading networks and funding of public works to improve the lives of citizens. The Greek society was based on slavery, yet Persian emperors did not believe in enslaving their populations. Studying history is always about shifting perspectives to get a better understanding. Many assumptions about the Persians came from the writings of the Greek historian Herodotus, the father of history. Any amateur history student can see the potential for bias in the situation. With this in mind, let's dive a little deeper into the Persian Empire and see if we can begin to shift the perspective a little. Let's explore its origins. The Persian Empire relates to dynasties centered in present-day Iran, lasting for centuries from the 6th century BC. It started modestly with semi-nomadic tribes tending sheep and goats in the Iranian plateau. Gradually, a leader arose who embarked on conquering neighboring tribes. Cyrus, the great founder of this first stage of the Persian Empire, sometimes called the Achaemenid Empire. Amazingly, this empire would become vast, a sprawling area stretching from the Balkans in the west to India's Indus Valley in the east and going into the Nile Valley in Africa. We all know that vast empires can prove difficult to reign over. History provides us with an abundance of stories where mismanagement led to ruin. Cyrus realized that the key to peace was calm diplomacy as opposed to oppression. He created a new way of managing an empire with the best elements of conquered territories were adopted elsewhere, an exchange that served to build new and better cultures. There was no need to impose Persian culture on politically submissive territories. The most famous example of his mercy is in the freeing of the Jewish slaves of Babylon. Once that emperor fell to Cyrus, he not only released them, but he then funded their passage home to Jerusalem and helped them rebuild their temple. Cyrus is immortalized in the Cyrus Cylinder, an artifact inscribed with his beliefs of overthrowing tyranny. The UN described this as the first charter of human rights. The second prominent figure of the Achaemenid Empire was Darius the Great. Distantly related to Cyrus under Darius, the Persian Empire reached its heights in terms of the land he ruled, maintaining the growth prevailing during Cyrus's reign. He sought to unify the empire through added emphasis on standardization. Under Darius, the realm introduced standardized currency, weight and measurement systems, while Aramaic was championed as the official language. Additionally, building roads and transport networks that allowed trade and commerce to flourish throughout the empire helped create many wealthy merchants. What was life like for the average citizen under the rule of these emperors? Understandably, it's difficult to paint a complete picture, but there is a lot we know from various sources. We know that the Persians practiced a monotheistic religion, Zoroastrianism. But this was not the official religion of the state named after the Persian prophet Zoroaster. Rulers followed these precepts but did not claim to be divinely selected. Zoroastrianism is possibly the first religion to introduce the concept of a good versus evil struggle in life. And through this morality, slavery was forbidden. Zoroastrianism is still practiced today as a minority religion in parts of Iran. In India, women in Persian society enjoyed much more liberty than their counterparts in the ancient Greek world. Women often needed an escort to leave their houses and could not own property. Conversely, in Persian society, women could be managers, gaining high positions in their professions and often owned property. Many owned large estates. As for culture, we know that many art forms excelled during the Achaemenid Empire, with many cultural norms being adapted from the acquisition of new lands. We see from excavation sites such as the ancient capital Persepolis, the Persians were exceptionally gifted rock carvers and were capable of ornate relief designs. In other archaeological sites, we have found evidence of skilled metalwork, including silver trinkets, a golden chariot, and sophisticated carpet weaving techniques. This all points to a progressive society seemingly fluid and willing to merge culture with each new land acquisition. It's often said that the Persian Empire provided the perfect blueprint for a well-managed, land-based empire, a blueprint that many subsequent emperors around the world would follow. Yet empires rise and empires fall. The downfall of the initial Persian Empire was precipitated by a significant event, a failed invasion of Greece led by Xerxes, around 480 BC. This invasion, although often remembered for the heroic resistance of 300 Spartans at Thermopylae, involved a much larger force comprised of soldiers from various Greek city-states. Despite being vastly outnumbered, the Greeks inflicted heavy casualties on Xerxes' armies. The costly Greek campaign drained the empire's resources and prompted Xerxes to impose heavier taxes on the people to replenish the funds. However, the empire's decline was further sealed in 330 BC when Alexander the Great's armies conquered the Achaemenid Empire. While history primarily focuses on the Achaemenid era as the peak of the Persian Empire, it is important to explore subsequent iterations to understand how Persian culture influenced later Islamic invaders, leading to another golden age. The persistence of Persian culture across different nations can be observed in various aspects such as language, art, architecture, cuisine, and more. Therefore, it is crucial to recognize the lasting impact of Persian influence on Middle Eastern civilizations, extending into the modern era. This perspective challenges the notion that the basis of Western civilization solely rests on Greek culture. It highlights that life in 5th century Persia was stable and progressive, offering an alternative narrative to the Eurocentric tale of ancient Greco-Roman dominance. Moreover, it emphasizes the significant scientific and technological contributions of Iran, underscoring the need to acknowledge their role in human progress. In conclusion, history is a complex tapestry, and the decline of the First Persian Empire was influenced by the failed invasion of Greece and subsequent events. By exploring the history of later dynasties and recognizing the lasting impact of Persian culture, we gain a broader understanding of the world's interconnectedness and the diverse contributions to progress.